Imagine descending into complete darkness, 3 stories beneath the earth, into a chamber carved 5,000 years before the pyramids of Egypt. Your whisper echoes through the stone corridors like a living thing, resonating with a frequency that seems to vibrate inside your chest, inside your very bones. This isn't just an echo. This is something else entirely. Welcome to the Ħal-Saflieni Hypogeum, Malta's underground mystery that has baffled archaeologists, acousticians, and historians for over a century. In 1902, workers breaking ground for a housing development in the town of Paula made a discovery that would rewrite Mediterranean prehistory. Their pickaxes broke through into a void, revealing the entrance to a massive underground complex that had been sealed for thousands of years. What they found inside defied all expectations. This wasn't a simple burial cave or a storage cellar. This was a cathedral carved from living rock, a 3-level labyrinth of chambers and passages that plunge over 30 feet into the Maltese limestone, all created with stone and bone tools by a civilization we still barely understand. The Hypogeum, meaning underground in Greek, is the only known prehistoric subterranean temple in the world. But calling it a temple feels inadequate when you're standing inside it. The builders didn't just hollow out chambers. They sculpted them with an architectural sophistication that rivals anything constructed above ground. Walking through its halls, you see doorways carved in perfect trapezoidal shapes, ceiling beams chiseled into the rock to mimic wooden construction, and walls smoothed to an almost polished finish. These weren't primitive people stumbling in the dark. These were master craftsmen with a vision, executing a plan that must have taken generations to complete. The construction alone is staggering. Between 400 and 2500 BCE, during the Neolithic period, the inhabitants of Malta excavated approximately 500 cubic meters of rock using antler picks, stone hammers, and obsidian blades. They worked by the light of oil lamps, breathing stale air in confined spaces, chipping away at solid limestone inch by inch, year after year, generation after generation. Why? What could possibly drive a society to invest such enormous resources into digging downward into darkness? The deeper you descend, the stranger becomes. The Hypogeum is divided into 3 distinct levels, each representing a different phase of construction and perhaps different purposes. The upper level, closest to the surface, is rough and cave-like, possibly the earliest excavation. The middle level is where the true artistry emerges. Here you find the main chambers, including the stunning Holy of Holies, a beautifully carved room with red ochre spirals painted on the ceiling, and doorways that seem to glow in otherworldly presence even in complete darkness. The trilithon entrance to this chamber mirrors the architecture of Malta's above-ground megalithic temples, suggesting a direct connection between the two. Then there's the oracle room. This is where things get genuinely mysterious. This small chamber, carved with a niche in the wall, possesses acoustic properties that no Neolithic people should have been able to engineer by accident. When a male voice speaks or chants at a frequency around 110 Hz, the entire room resonates. Not just echoes, but resonates, amplifying the sound and creating a vibration you can feel throughout your body. Studies have shown that sound at this frequency can affect human brain activity, influencing areas associated with emotion, creativity, and even inducing trance-like states. Did the ancient builders know this? Was this intentional? The precision required to create such an acoustic chamber seems impossible for a society without written language or mathematical notation. Yet here it is, carved into stone 5,000 years ago. The walls throughout the complex are decorated with red ochre paintings, spirals, and geometric patterns that appear in Malta's above-ground temples as well. Red ochre, made from iron-rich clay, wasn't just decoration. In many ancient cultures, it symbolized blood, life, and rebirth. The fact that it's found throughout the Hypogeum suggests ritual significance, a place where the living came to commune with something beyond themselves, perhaps the dead, perhaps the divine, perhaps both. Which brings us to the most haunting aspect of the Hypogeum, the bodies. When excavations were properly conducted after the initial disturbance, archaeologists found the remains of approximately 7,000 individuals scattered throughout the chambers. 7,000 people, interred over centuries in this underground sanctuary. Some were laid out carefully in niches carved into the walls. Others were found in communal burial chambers, stacked layer upon layer. The sheer number is overwhelming. This wasn't a tomb for the elite or a royal burial ground. This was a sacred space for an entire community, perhaps multiple communities, spanning 1,000 years or more. Among the remains, archaeologists found grave goods, pottery, beads, stone tools, and small carved figurines. One of these figurines has become iconic. The sleeping lady of the Hypogeum, a small terracotta figure of a woman lying on her side, head resting on her hand, in what appears to be peaceful slumber or perhaps a trance state. She's been interpreted as representing death, sleep, the act of dreaming, or even ritual incubation, a practice where people would sleep in sacred spaces hoping to receive visions or healing. Her serene expression suggests that whatever happened in the Hypogeum, it wasn't feared, it was embraced. The question that haunts everyone who studies the Hypogeum is simply, why underground? Malta has magnificent above-ground temples, the Gantija temples among them, which are older than Stonehenge and rival anything built in the ancient world. The builders clearly had the skill to create monumental architecture in the open air. So, why did they choose to dig down into darkness, to create a mirror world beneath the surface? Some researchers believe the Hypogeum was a womb of the earth, a place of rebirth where the dead were placed to return to the goddess, to the source of all life. The spiral patterns on the walls, the red ochre suggesting blood and life, the chambers that narrow and expand like passages through a body, all point to this interpretation. Others suggest it was an oracle site, where priests or priestesses would descend into darkness, into altered states enhanced by sensory deprivation and acoustic resonance, to receive visions and prophecies. The oracle room's unique properties support this theory. But perhaps the most intriguing possibility is that the Hypogeum served all these functions and more. It was a burial ground, a temple, an oracle site, and a place of initiation. It was where Malta's prehistoric society came to confront the mysteries of life and death, to experience the sacred through darkness and sound, to connect with ancestors and deities through ritual and trance. The Hypogeum wasn't just a building. It was an experience, carefully engineered to transform those who entered it. Today, the Hypogeum is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of Malta's most precious treasures, but it's also one of the most fragile. The humidity and carbon dioxide from visitors' breath were damaging the delicate rock surfaces and paintings, forcing authorities to severely limit access. Only 10 people per hour are allowed inside, and tours must be booked weeks or months in advance. This restriction has actually enhanced the experience. When you finally descend those modern stairs into the ancient darkness, when you stand in the oracle room and hear your voice transformed by stone carved 5 millennia ago, you're not just a tourist. You're a participant in something timeless, something that connects you directly to people who lived and died long before history was written. The Hypogeum reminds us that sophistication isn't measured in technology alone. These people, with their stone tools and firelight, created something that still mystifies us, still moves us, still resonates in ways we're only beginning to understand. They knew things about sound, about sacred space, about the human need to mark the passage from life to death with beauty and meaning. And they left us this underground cathedral as proof that 5,000 years ago, in the darkness beneath Malta, humanity was already asking the same questions we ask today. What happens when we die? How do we honor those we've lost? And what lies beyond the veil of the known world? The Hypogeum doesn't answer these questions, but standing inside it, surrounded by stone carved by hands long turned to dust, you feel closer to understanding why we've always needed to ask them.